Growing up on the farm, we had old farm machinery and all sorts. And I remember I had a corner of Dad's machinery shed set up where I had old tins and everything. I always wanted a museum. Don't know why, it's just I liked old shit. My grandfather, he was probably worse. Name's Ben Forster. I live here in sunny Perth. This is basically where I come to hide from 3 women in my life, my shed. Sort of the first memory would be sitting on Dad's old, he had a 42 WLA Harley, and I still remember sitting on it. I got pictures of me and my sisters on slides sitting on Dad's Harley. Then he had motor guzzies and he had all sorts. The bulk of the engines and bikes in here are Wallers, because that's what Dad had. This has only been sort of the last 20 years for me. But the stuff in here that was my grandfather's, that was Dad's, and and it's weird. People go, but how do you find it? And it's sort of, it finds you now. You know what I mean? Everyone knows what you're into and that, and I got a good friend who's a painter, and we were at a gallery. Quite often, if I'm at things like that, I wear a top hat. And this woman in probably her early 70s, 2 women come up and they were congratulating me on the gallery show and everything, and they thought I was the artist. And it was quite funny. And she goes, oh, I said, look, thank you, but the other gentleman in the hat, who's a friend of mine, is actually the artist. I said, all I am is a bullshit artist. I said, yeah. I said, I'm into vehicular art. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, I like old motorbikes and cars and that. She goes, oh, my husband passed away and I've got all these Triumph parts. Would you like to come and have a look? Because you never know where stuff's going to come from. Like, and that was talking to a 7-year-old lady at an art gallery. There's just, stuff finds you if it's supposed to. The AJ was found in a paddock probably 40 odd years ago. It was rusted, the bottom half of the wheels, basically to the hubs. It was sitting on the frame, hubs were all, the wheels were rusted away, and my uncle found it in a paddock. So he dragged it home, and between my uncle, my father and my grandfather, they spent a couple of years restoring it. I mean, it's 27, so what are we in now? So it's 6 years, it'll be 100-year-old. The fact that they all, like there was 2 generations and now it's onto its 3rd in the family. My uncle was looking at getting rid of it years ago, or he was talking about moving it or that, so I just rang him up and I said it needs to stay. It's got to stay in the family, and to be honest, I think I'll probably give it back to one of his grandkids as well. So on the condition it stays in the family. It's one that really, there's not enough money for it ever to leave the shed. You know what I mean? It's got to go to a certain place. The shovel, we painted it up, so I had this white tank, a front end, an engine. I'm going, all right. So then I started just sketching away. We bought a gearbox, and bought a brand new Poucho frame, and started piecing it together, and then I'm going, I want a kooky tail light. So the tail light's a 60 Cadillac. We found it at swap meet for 15 bucks, and we just got a guard, and I extended the rib on the back and blended the tail light in, and it just sort of, pieced it all together and gone, you know, that actually looks pretty cool and different. I get a bit blasé with it. It's just sort of, this is where I go to hang out, this is what I do for relaxation. But to watch people who have never been in here before, it's hilarious because they just don't know where to look. It is the museum I had in me head growing up. It's what I wanted.